Uh, Ashok sir,
There is one
if I could
question in the
request
chat
your,
box.
yeah, if I
Yeah,
could
yeah. Please,
request you
please,
back on
please
the
go
screen.
ahead, Alok. Yeah.
Uh, we have one question here from, in fact, one comment from Arunji. He says, your comment on development of technology will not stop, so getting used to it is inescapable.
Yeah, I
So,
mean, that is exactly what I was trying to say, that the kind of bipolarism which has come with technology, sometimes we feel that we have got only two options, that we take sannyas, go in the Himalayas, and so that we are totally cut off from technology, right? And the second option is that no, we have, our skin has to be in this. What is bad is to be recognized and eliminated, and what is good is to be recognized and consumed. So I think the second option is the only option that we have, and the first option is just not there. So I fully concur with the comment of Arunji.
right. Arunji, if there's anything else that you'd like to say or ask, please feel free to send on the chat box. If there's any other participating member who wishes to ask a question or maybe express his or her views, feel free to use the chat box.
So Alok, that name of the book of Nandal Nilekani is Art of Bitfulness.
Art of
Bitfulness, B-I-T-F-U.
Bitfulness.
Yes, keeping calm in the digital world. That is the name of the book.
Right, and I am very sure that it will be a wonderful thing for all of us to go through.
Yes.
Because as you said, it is very important for all of us to understand where that thin margin is. Where
somebody has written it.
Yes.
In the
The
absolutely.
Art of Bitfulness. Right.
Keeping calm in the digital world.
Correct. Sir, in that case, I mean, given your expertise, I mean, do you actually see India as turning out to be a leading force in this area, especially in the field of technology?
Oh, absolutely. There is no doubt about it. You will see it in the next 5 years. 5 years perhaps is a long time, where India will drive most of the technological revolutions, not only in the area of social good, but also in the area of cyber security, in the area of education, say for example, right? The health management, the manner in which we do our commerce today. And I have absolutely no doubt we are already leading. We are already leading. The examples which I gave you are the unparalleled examples.
True.
So the only area perhaps where the West has taken a lead for very historical reasons, and India did not take a lead in that for another historical reason, is perhaps the safety and the warfare and the military technology and things like that. But I'm not saying that is something that we should be very obsessive with. That may come coincidentally as the geopolitics of the world changes or takes new turns and twists. But I'm very, very confident that the social good factor in which the technology is going to play its major role will have its epicenter in India. I have no doubt about it.
That's really very encouraging to hear, and especially like for somebody like me, because we are dealing with young minds. We are dealing with students, and the amount of craze and the amount of inclination that I see in most of these students. I mean, everyone wishes to somehow go abroad professionally.
See, the whole thing is then what we need to do, Alok, is that we have to to bring into our education system what we call the 21st century skills, critical thinking. The children must think, children must be curious. So the famous story of today, you can take your mobile and you can book a car for you in less than 2 minutes. I mean, this came, the founders of this, it came out of necessity. And the founders were stuck in a restaurant and it was raining outside and they had to wait for hours and hours in the queue to get a car or bus. And then they thought that, why is this? Why can't we do something about it? You see? So I think the young generation, we have to imbue in them this curiosity. Why can't I do this? Or why can't I do something about it? And I think that will form the edifice for all the future technological inventions.
True, and we'll be able to counter the brain drain also to some extent.
Yeah, I see a very dear friend of mine, Mr. Arun Bharat Pandey here. So I think we can take a comment from him as well. I'm sure he will be one of the speakers. Mr. Bharat Pandey, are you there? My greetings to you. How are you?
The earlier comment which I read, sir, was from him only.
Oh, from him only. Yes. Okay, Arun ji, you said. Okay.
I'm mute. I was muted. It was
so nice to see you. Yeah, there is another Arun ji. So I thought it was he. Yes. So Mr. Bharat Pandey is here. So how are you? Nice to see you.
Yeah.
So Alok, I can tell you for the benefit of the people here in the room that Mr. Arun Bharat Pandey was the first person in Delhi who formed an association of the principals and educators way back in 1996.
Great. Okay.
So how many years it was? 25, 26 years ago.
I know.
As to how to integrate technology in the classrooms. Whatever technology was available at that time.
That's very futuristic. I mean,
so you just imagine.
Then, yes. Very true.
So if you have people like that, you can just understand where the next wave of technological growth in this country is heading to.
Correct.
Right. So I always maintain that he has given the tailwind to the technology integration in this country.
Very true.
Thank you very much, Ashok ji. But I just wanted a few tips from you as to you mentioning about encouraging curiosity and critical thinking and all that. So could you suggest some specific steps which could be taken in schools to encourage this?
Yeah, absolutely. Right. I think the next speaker has come.
Yeah, Dr. Pandey, if I could just...
Okay, so I'll come back to you on that. Yes.
Once we are...
Ji, Arun ji.
Hello.
Yeah, Arun ji, you're audible. You please go ahead.
Yeah, actually, see, he has been raising very pertinent points. What I want to ask is, how do you think that so many people need to go to the universities? And are the universities meant for increasing employability or for academic excellence?
I think there are two things, and there's a third thing which combines the two. India, at the stage that we are at, we need institutions. There may be universities, there may be colleges, there may be schools that need to prepare students for the workforce, because at the end of the day, a big chunk of Indians need employment, which is a big problem. For Western developed countries, we can say that, hey, listen, unemployment is not a problem. So now let's focus on creation of knowledge and academic excellence. But in India, academic excellence cannot be thought of as being separate from employability. Because right now our problems in the Maslow architecture are a lot lower in the pyramid, not as high. So whereas some universities should focus on academic excellence, but what is the point of academic excellence if not at the end of the day making sure that the country can move ahead and making sure that people can actually earn a livelihood for themselves? But that's not to say that there should not be universities that should only focus on research. As I said, in the West, in Norway, Sweden, there are universities that focus on academic excellence and knowledge creation and research. And the onus and responsibility of teaching actually is shared between universities, colleges, and more importantly, the industry.
Yeah, yeah, Pratham, I'm very impressed with your presentation, and also your love for data driven conclusions. One thing which is bothering me for quite some time is we started with the university enrollment, which is around 3.5 to 4 crore today, and which is the 26% of the enrollment. Now, Government of India, envisaging to double it to 50%, right? And when it becomes 50%, means 3.4 or 5 crore people will come again to the university system or college system. Now, for that, you need universities, you need faculty, infrastructure, and so on and so forth. And the data suggests that if we really want to do it quickly, we need one university every week.
Yep.
Now, how will that be managed? And do you see any alternative to that? And that probably will reflect on what Arunji also asked.
Yeah. No, I think one big thing that we are seeing change is, what does it mean for a university to be called a university? Right? There's a clear difference between a university and a school, right? Or a college. A university, by definition, one of the major responsibilities of a university is to actually engage in research, is to actually engage in creating new knowledge. But for schools or colleges or institutions, the major responsibility is to teach. Now, there are two things that are changing as we are sort of, moving, as you clearly said, from 26% to 50%, hopefully in the future. One is that there's a new concept of asset-light colleges and schools coming in. Until now, government or private institutions would have to buy land and build buildings to run their colleges. And that is one of the biggest challenges because it requires large capex. You have to raise that money, you have to get that money in buying land and buildings. Today, out of the 28 major states, 23 states have allowed higher educational institutions to be created in rented premises. Mm-hmm. And because of that, we can see that, if that is allowed and that becomes mainstream and that becomes acceptable, then you can actually create that one university every week because you wouldn't have to wait years to build the infrastructure. You can leverage existing infrastructure to create new campuses, to create new institutions. That's number one. Number two, the larger thing is that right now, the government, the UGC, the ICT requires that certain teachers in every university have to be PhDs. However, India only produces some 60, 70,000 PhDs a year. Now, that is nearly not enough to be able to teach all the students. So now, this year, the government has allowed for practitioners to start taking a more active role in teaching as well. So if you are a practitioner with more than X years of experience, your classes can be considered equivalent to a faculty who's been teaching for Y years, let's say, right? So that's being allowed. The third, of course, is technology, right? And of course, I'm sure everyone's exposed to ChatGPT, and Evan, I'm sure we'll talk more about the education aspect of the tech aspect of education. But we are seeing that universities are now leveraging over 40% of their courses to be run through online programs, right? Through Swayam, through YouTube, through Upgrad, through Great Learning, through all the online, initiatives like Coursera, edX, etc., Khan Academy as well. So I think these three things will improve that access to education that is required. But at the same time, what I said about making sure that everything is hands-on, only then is the problem really solved.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you very much, Pratham.
Mr. Luthra, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. Although the question was posted a while ago, but then I'll forward it to you. It says, is there any suggestion that you'd like to put across to encourage curiosity and critical thinking among our youth?
See, curiosity is always, it has to be in the person. It's a curious person by nature. He wants to do it. How do you build curiosity as a muscle is an interesting question. Uh, I would I would I would say, like, tell people to find their passions. Tell people to find their passion, and based on that, I think that then they are curious around those things. People are only curious in things they're interested in. If you're not interested in something, you can't be curious about it.
Thank you, Dr. Tabrez Ahmad. We already have one question here. The question is from Arunji. Uh, he says, why not focus on skill development in higher education instead of academics may be left to the universities?
Yeah. So already, I think Government of India has opened the Department of Skill Development with a lot of focus on the skills, and also same time there are a lot of short-term courses started by the universities to impart the skilling to the people, because skilling is an ongoing process. So academic qualification is there, but even all the academicians may sometimes require to take the special skills relevant to them, depending on their career choice and career planning. So already there are a lot of, I think, chances are there. Government has opened these sectors, people are doing. Plus, there are a lot of private companies, they started a lot of certificate courses, and people can go and do certifications. Plus, in the new education policy, now from class 7th onwards, schools will be having the chance to give the students to go to the internships. So with the kind of the getting the knowledge, they'll be also trying to go to the internships, and please indirectly they will be raising their skill sets. So I think it is not, we cannot say that who will do skilling. Skilling is relevant at every level. So best part is that now this has come to the schools, and the learning will start very quickly, because earlier it was after 10th and after 12th. But from 7th class, schools should have to have some kind of the system arrangements where school will be providing the skilling to the students in the school, plus they send to the industry or companies to get trained and also raise the skills. So skill is a very focus area, because everybody is not required to do higher education, because only those who are people really interested, I can do add some value, do some research, they should go. Otherwise, people are sufficient to just get the basic education and go to the industry. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Ahmed. Arunji, I hope your query is addressed. And I completely agree with you, Dr. Ahmed, because we as educators, we need to be far-sighted so that we can train our students, our current generation, in a way so that they can become employable at a time for which we today we might not be able to dream or envisage what kind of opportunities that time will offer. So that's very true. And thank you so much for your expertise, for sharing your thoughts, for sparing time and addressing this forum. Thank you so very much, sir.
Thank you all of you.
I also take this opportunity to thank all the participating members, and I'm sure this must have been a very enriching experience for all of us. Thank you very much.
Thank you.